Good evening. Come on in. We foretell. I'm Franklin, your astrologer, and tonight we'll be on the cosmic watch. We'll be looking at the stars and the planets and the moon, and see what they can tell us about what's going on today. I see Izzy joining us, saying hi. Izzy, you're our first panelist of the night. If Izzy says, "Oh, is somebody stalking me? Is someone is someone really uh, um, so not stalking, not in the way that you think, but yeah, you do see that someone is trying to find out more about you. Someone. Okay, there's a third party. Izzy, there's a third party that wants to know what you're doing, and they have someone watching you. That's that feeling that you're getting because there is someone like reporting back to a third party on on your comings and goings and who who is who comes to see you. So it's someone who has access to uh, the location where you are. It's someone who's not, but it's not really, I think, familiar to you. And this is why you're getting that feeling of just a stranger following you because someone really has their eye on you, especially as you come and go, and who comes and goes to to your place. Now, who it is, I see. There's the thing. When I ask who it is, they just show me that this person is a problem, is real, uh, is doing this very well and undercover, and because there's no faces here, that means it's someone that you don't know because it wouldn't do you any good to see what they look like because this is a third party. It's not the one who's really interested in you. Sam says hello to everyone, like gloves. People who stick to you. People who there are a lot of stalkers in the world today, and this is a hmm, a problem because so many people do it just as a hobby, just to find out about other people, and it really is a phenomenon that goes on now. SJ saying hi, SJ for you tonight. Wow, that you know what the moon card means is that you're about to get your wish, what you've been praying for, what you've been asking for. SJ is just about to materialize in your life, and it's up to you to see the value of what it is that comes to your life. So often things that we need are sent to us that look like um, things that we have to do, new work, new responsibilities, people to take care of, which is, I mean, that's the whole point of us being here is to take care of each other. So what a wonderful thing to have it come. SJ says, awesome, man. And that's that's the best reaction when you know why good things are coming into your life. And of course, your guides are always trying to show you the path simply by opening some doors and closing others. guide you down the road. If you're born today, you're a Scorpio on November the 4th of 2022. SJ says that's sweet. It's the best way to look at things because you have to play the card you're dealt, right? Whatever comes your way, you have to make the best of it. And that's just living your life in such a way that your life is your teaching. You don't mind others seeing over your shoulder and seeing what you're doing because you're not trying to hide anything. And the most wonderful feeling for anyone, any human on this earth, is to be able to match what's in your mind, what you're really thinking, with what you say to other people, to give them honest feedback, to tell them the truth. So if you're born today on November the 4th, your sun sign is in Scorpio, and right now the moon sign is still in Pisces. At just before midnight tonight, it's going to switch over to Aries. But right now we're still in that very dreamy world of the Pisceans, and to those who were born today are going to have water sign Scorpio for your sun sign, and a water sign Pisces for your moon sign. And this is it's a very good combination. It's the the wanting to help other people, the wanting to be out there and take the concept of cooperating with others to the next level. That's what that double water sign will do for you. You will be able to recognize who needs help and find those people and give them the help that they need. And that's putting your life to the best use. And that's what we're all here for. Now, um, astrologically speaking, we have a a particular event coming up next week on the 8th in this country, election day, no less. There's going to be a full moon rising on election day. That moon will be in Taurus, and it will make everyone think that they know what is best for other people. It's just a perfect situation to have the election. It's a day when everyone will be trying to express what they feel, and to they don't mind telling other people why they feel. And for this to hit on a national election day, and just for a full moon to hit on a day when people are going to be so on point with what they think is true that they think they have to tell other people. And this is always a problem for anyone thinking that those messages that come to you from your guides are meant for those people around you. Your guides talk to you in particular. When you leave this earth and you have to answer for everything that you've ever said or done, see the results of those things, and then declare yourself either enlightened or ready to go back and be reincarnated. It's you can't lie about it, and you cannot lie to the spirit world when you try to lie to your guides, when you try to duck what they're trying to give you, what they want you to have. Then you're causing yourself problems. And okay, okay, yeah. Alrighty, we're and we still have a good crew with us. This is a night when the moon sign is about to change. Over just before midnight, we'll go into Aries, and that's going to be a noticeable change in your day, where things have been moving along at a dream pace. We've been in Pisces with the moon all day long. At just before midnight tonight, things are going to slam into gear. The doers, Aries, fire sign, and it may be hard to sleep tonight, and like it usually is on a full moon night when there's just too much activity going on. So this is just a little look ahead at that full moon that's coming, and sort of beware about having your feelings on your sleeve next Tuesday. There's you're being you are uh, going to be warned by your guides that this is a very personal thing. Leaders leaders in anything need to lead by the occasion coming up, and they being a catalyst for change rather than a vanguard, rather than leadership getting so far out in front of the populace that they lose them. You can lose track if a leader tries to go too far too fast. To lead is usually done best from behind, and that's how you figure what the people want, and then give them that. And cooperation is why we're here, and to take that cooperation to a new level is what the people born today are born to do. Today's date adds up to either 12 or 21, whichever way you want to take it. You see, this is the 11th month, and you can use that either the 11 as a 1 plus 1, or you can use it as an 11. Either way, you're going to come up with the same birth number of 3. But some would be a 2, 1, 3, and some would be a 1, 2, 3. And that just changes the order of the way things are going to come up in your life. And if you're a 3, you have to tell others what's in your heart. Not so much to um, be the authority and take over their life, but to show them what you will and will not do. To set your boundaries, set your limits. Once once other people know your limits, they treat you very differently. And once you set those limits, you will treat yourself differently. And setting limits and boundaries really means taking care of yourself. That's the biggest responsibility that you have in this life, is to take over and send your life in the direction that you know it needs to go in. And once you have control of your life, then you can be an influence for good for other people. People will naturally gravitate to you when they hear you speak the truth. The, the truth is a very, it brings about responses in people. It turns other people, it turns them on to hear the truth. They People all have intuition. They all know the truth when they hear it, and you have a responsibility to try and speak the truth, because you're always going to be held by the spirit world if you're saying one thing and doing another. This you will be used as a bad example, and that means that the things you do wrong are going to be publicized just as much as the things you do right. And all you can do is live the best life that you can, be the best you that is possible. And when we have something as intense as an election day, it's the best thing you can do is turn the television off and get the shrillness out. It's it's time for reality to set in, and that's what we're going to see next week. There's going to be huge changes, of course. There always are in any kind of a national election. The people will show. And here's Mayu joining us from Mexico this morning or this evening actually. Mayu, what was that we were talking about the last time? Was it last week or the week before, where you had a situation in your life where who was it? Someone was what was going on where others dropped the ball, where and you had to come along after them, feeling down because I'm. Mayo says he was feeling down, and there's because of a big change, and this is it's such a personal thing to know that the spirit world thinks enough about you to bring these things into your life, to bring people, events, situations for you. The thing that kept me going suddenly was no more. Uh, to yeah, yeah. We all have to have a purpose, and things things come and go because very often people have more than one karma to work, and they are literally called by the spirit world, and there's nothing they can really do about it. They're gone from your life, and these are the things that happen when you have 7 billion people on a planet, and they all have karma, and at least one, and this has been going on for at least the 25,000 years since the last ice age, and there were people on Earth before that ice age that died out, and and these are the people who were the first ones to, after the ice age ended, the first ones to want to reincarnate, but there were no souls on Earth to make room for them, and the only things on Earth at that time were the animals, and this is when the practice began of humans actually having a life in animal form. Mayu says the big change, the thing that kept me going, suddenly is no more, and that's it happens to let you know that you can't base your life on other people. You can't ask someone else to make you happy in the same way that you cannot make someone else happy if they're not. There are so many times when another soul is in a dark place and you want to save them, and there is no saving them because they have yet to learn their lesson. They're still in that situation, and they have to have changes to force them to learn lessons that they're here to learn. And this is why some people seem to be unreachable. And some people suddenly turn off a relationship, just bam, and it's over. Mayu says, "I know I didn't want for them to make me happy. I wanted to keep them secure and comfortable and make a great team together. And that only works when it happens from both sides. And what a the odds are so much against any two human beings on this earth finding each other at exactly the right time for both of them. I mean, it's astronomical that people ever get together for a lifetime. It's um, being part of a team is that's creative cooperation. We learn from other souls how to cooperate, and then we use that to be able to contact the spirit world, to cooperate through worlds and through the spirits to be able to find out what God has in store for us. The Akashic records, everybody's got one, and they're um, all every soul that's on this planet right now has their own page in the Akashic records. And those records are not written in stone. They're changing constantly by what is done in this particular lifetime. What the Akashic records are is the best that can possibly happen given the situation. The best that you could hope for. And many times, most times, all times, we don't get there. We don't. We don't. Mayo says it's important to keep moving. Of course it is. It's you. One thing leads to another. When a door closes, another door opens. And if if you have the right mindset, you're going to take advantage of that, and uh, be looking. You always remembering the past, but looking for the future. The we've had a a digression of an astrological event of the moon, and that's the nodes of the moon. The crescent moon has two opposing nodes. One is the future, and one is the past. And there's been a slowdown. There's been a backup. There's just like the planets regress from time to time. This has been going on with the nodes of the moon, and the past and the future have been a jumble. And this is this is what happens as the moon waxes and changes, and it's important to keep moving. It always is. Your life has not come to an end. Mayu, there's um, the importance is that you understand that nothing lasts forever except your soul, and your soul can't die. So you're going to get another chance. This is not your last chance. So if there's if to this soul who's moved along, it's important that you did say everything that you did to that soul, and that you did everything for that soul, even in a limited time. It's the spirit world does not have clock. They don't wear watches, and very often miracles take more than one lifetime. And when what the angels want to see is that you tried, that you were getting better as you came along. So Mayo says, I tried, but I feel like I failed. It's because that person could not be reached at this time. What they were trying to learn from you or everyone around them, they had not learned yet. They have not learned the lesson, and this is why things had to change. Oh, a lot during this whole occasions. It's we beat ourselves up, and everybody does, as we have such great memories, and we can think back, and boy, if I had just changed that word right there, things would really have been different. And then think about how often You say things that surprise you, and this is your guides. Your spirit guides are located in your heart. They're closer to your throat than your mind is. They can put words in your mouth that as soon as you say them, you wonder, where in the world did that come from? And then as you look back upon those situations, you can see why you had to say that at that time. It was the only way to move things along. When any relationship can become stagnant, when it becomes too easy, to when you know exactly what the other person wants to hear, and that's what you're telling them. And just like anything else in this world, you have to use it, share it, and then release it. There's a time when you have to release things. Think about the people you knew as a child, and they're not in your life anymore, unless they were relatives. And think about the people you knew, like in school. You were so tight with those people at one time, and then they're not a part of your life anymore. And it's often because of what you did. You changed. You got a job, went somewhere, and it's a continually this thing is happening as we move through the world, and we randomly um, bump into other people. Think of karma as a thread that holds you to heaven, up above you somewhere, and everybody is on that thread, and they're kind of moving around. Anytime somebody moves, everybody bumps everybody. There's actions and reactions, cause and effect. That's the big thing that horoscoping does for us. It allows us to write down what happened during a particular star pattern. And when it comes back around 245 years, maybe later, then you can write it down again, and you can start to see things for after a few thousand years. Mayu says, just especially painful when the one that gets lost is someone that you choose to team up with. It, it is. It is. And think about the good that you got out of that relationship, even though it was not long term. And that's what you take forward is what you learned from that person, and you thank them for teaching you. It's like the competitors in your life. You have to thank them for bringing out the best in you. This person, Maya, brought out the best in you, brought out the love of wanting to do for others, and that's a wonderful thing. They let you be God there for a while. It's something that some people never get to experience, even for a short time. So be thankful for the time that you have with everyone. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we kept that thought in mind all the time, and we fully put to use every experience that came up. Uh, you'd learn something new every day, and that's what we all do. I, I, uh, I learned that about the nodes of the moon just this afternoon as I was searching for something else. Mayo says, yes, it was good while it was good. Yes. And that's what you have to remember is that astrologically speaking, you have to do a new reading every day because a card reading is only good if nobody changes, and everybody changes every day. Then that's why readings are done over time, and you can really see the patterns that do come up in your life, and things. Enjoy the good while the good is here. That's that's what everyone on this planet needs to do is to embrace the good and never return evil for evil. Getting revenge is the worst thing that you can possibly ever do on this planet. Um, and it's like every movie ever made is made to get that writer who wrote the movie revenge for what they feel went wrong in their life. And the terrible thing about movies is that if you're the hero of the picture here, anything is justifiable. I mean, you can do anything as long as it is in revenge for what you perceive was something wrong done for you. So it's always your point of view, action and reaction. For everything that you do, there's going to be a reaction. There's going to be other people who see it as something that they could do, something they could imitate, or something that they would never do. That you've made a mistake for all those people, and they don't have to go to the trouble of making that mistake themselves. This is this is the wonderful thing that happened with the printing press, and people can write down their thoughts, and they could um, have the books that stand the test of time, and go from generation to generation. You know, probably the best writer we've ever had is Enoch. Mayu saying he doesn't believe in revenge on past loves. Seems like such an ugly feeling to have. It's you have to remember that everybody changes every day in reaction to what has come into their life. If they didn't, they wouldn't be human. So we all have to ease up on each other, forgive each other, and and keep moving as if it were just a phase in our life. It's the reason that Job is in all the holy writings is because it's such a big deal to be able to not get mad at God when you perceive things are going wrong in your life. It's people blame things on God, and this is the problem with seeing God as a holy terror. That they'll get you if you don't watch out. And Santa Claus is watching you, and it doesn't really work that way. People punish themselves. People always end up deciding how to punish themselves, what they're going to take away, and that's what everyone needs to realize is that you can decide what kind of life to have. You can decide to create the world that you want to live in, and it's by changing your attitude. You'll never be able to change what other people do or say, but you can change how you react to it. And through that, you can make your world whatever you want it to be. You can reconstruct your world using mirrors. Talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, and you'll see that this is the whole concept of laser and 3D. Um, uh, these images that are able to produce. You split the light and then you bring the light back together using mirrors, and you bring it back together at different angles, and suddenly you have a moving, living vision out there. And mirrors are one of the more interesting things in the world. You can you can practice how to be on the radio. That's how I learned when I was talking to a mirror, and imagining that people were out there listening, very much like this. It's so Mayu, to not believe in revenge is a wonderful thing. Mayu says, my reflection is odd to me, not in a bad way. I almost don't. Okay. Now, if you really concentrate, Mayu, on the mirror, your face will evolve in your mind, in your eye, into the previous faces you've had in previous lives. If you'll sit in front of the mirror for a minute or two and really meditate, you will see the face change, and you'll see yourself as anyone else who's ever walked on this earth, and you can start to understand who you have been when you piece those images together with the images that you can get of previous lives. And this is where seers come in. The most difficult thing for anyone to do is to see their own life, and someone from outside being able to see what's in your heart and in your mind gives you validation. Lets you know that what you've been thinking, yeah, it's right. And Mayu says, I thought I was having hallucinations. It happened to me a couple of times. Didn't it? That's what it is. I, uh, I'll tell you what else I did was work in my wife's beauty shop and work the front desk of a big hair salon, and the place is full of mirrors. In a hair salon, behind everybody's chair, they have the big mirror, and then they have the little mirrors in the hand, and there's mirrors everywhere. And it's very possible to sit there and concentrate into a mirror while your hair is being cut or being done, being dyed, whatever. You know, it's and this is why beauticians are very much like bartenders. People will tell them anything in the world. People get very personal because they see themselves in those mirrors, and they trust themselves. They're talking to themselves. They're unloading that burden just as if they were at a psychiatrist. And it's that's the wonderful thing about beauticians is they get to be part psychiatrist and part lonely hearts facilitator, and they they are the most trusted person in so many people's lives that those people are willing to tell them anything, unburden their problems, and because the beautician hears it every day, they get good at it. They can see what needs to be said, and that's just right next to reading minds. If you can read people's body language, you're halfway there. You are getting messages, psychic messages off of that soul when you see how they walk through the room, how they um, do they look like they know what they're talking about, and that's the big difference between people. So so Mayu, that's a good thing to know. Is that mirrors really open the soul because your eyes tell you everything. When you look in the eyes of another soul, it really matters what you see. As Jay says, I'm a hairdresser. Many many psychically inclined people are. They um, the um, the biggest sign for being a psychic person is Aquarius, and Aquarius just seems to be drawn to the business of psychic readings, but hairdressers are some of the most useful people. A hairdresser, SJ, you know this. A hairdresser will have a customer long time, and that person started as an old person, and their last wish is that when I die, you come to the funeral home and do my hair one last time because you're the only person in the world who can do it right. I, I know my wife has done that through the years so many different times, and it's it's a duty of love. It is for for people to change lives. It's almost like being a plastic surgeon. You change people's lives. You give them um, a new reason to think better of themselves, to look at themselves in the mirror and say, "Well, I'm not so bad." You know, you sometimes it takes a new color, sometimes a new do, but it's all in how that person sees himself. And if they trust the hairdresser, well, uh-huh. SJ, oh, oh, uh-huh. Yes, the pandemic closed beauty shops all across the country because people didn't have the extra money to to keep doing it. So you never know what's going to happen to any profession. How you can suddenly become the owner of the buggy whip factory, right? And then the world changes. But no one's ever found out how to take the place of a professional beautician, one who, as we're finding out now, one who is working with chemicals all the time. This is not a real good thing to do. They've just found out that the hair straighteners are causing cancer because they're such powerful things. That's why stuff with sickness going around. Yeah, yeah, you got to work right in somebody's face. It's like being a dentist, or you're just you're right there in their face, and you don't. That's the last situation in the world where you'd wear a mask. And things have really gotten strange in these past few years. So everyone every, everyone changes. And that's my guide saying, hey, hey. when I get emotional, I choke up. And when I say something that is true, my guides let me know. I can completely get choked up. I can start crying. That's how I know something is completely true. I can read something and have tears in my eyes. And for me, that is the proof of the spirit world. I, I had I had such a strange childhood. I went 50 years without being able to cry, and it was through doing this work that I was able to contact my mother. And it was the first time I'd cried in 50 years, and it cleaned out the tear ducts. I've felt so much better since that time, and I've been doing this for about 15 years now for this same place. Good people. It's a good collection of. Of seers from all around the country, all around the world. We could work anywhere. I'm working from home, and that's the best thing about doing this work. You get to work for yourself mainly. It's very much like driving a truck, right? All you have to do is answer the computer every now and then, and you don't have anybody else to worry about. I drove a big truck for years all over the country, and then came home and ran a truck driving school for the state, through the VOTEC school. And the people that we got were from all over the world, men, women, young, old. Truck driving could be learned in 2 months' time, and you could make enough money to do anything else that you wanted to do. Many professionals came here from other countries, and their licenses were no good, and they had to go back to school. And in order to do that, they had to have a profession where they could uh, drive and make money. And so we had classes from all over, people from all over who were trying to make money. It's, and that's what brought all those people together. And it was such a learning experience for me to be able to um, to teach people how to take this very dangerous implement, this truck, out into the traffic of big cities and come back alive. It's a real, um, it's something that has to be learned, and you can't just throw people out there. They're they're because of the driver shortage now. I see on the news where they're trying to lower the age of truck drivers back down to like 18 instead of 21, the way it's always been, or actually 25. I think is what it's always been. It's always never been open to teenagers before, and that's it takes a lot of training to be able to do it safely. So that's one of the things that I've done in my life. I've taken so many different directions because I feel like my guides want me to do it. The first place I really started to understand that there was a spirit world was doing crossword puzzles, like the New York Times Sunday puzzles, where they have foreign words and phrases, and I mean just off the wall things that I had no idea what some of these were. But if I would try to answer these and then lay it down and come back to it a few hours later or the next day, I found that I suddenly knew the answers, as though my mind had been working and somehow reaching out into the world to find the answers to the problems. And this is sleep on it, right? Best advice in the world. Sleep on it. Think about it for a while. Don't take action before you've thought through the whole thing. Don't leap before you look, or you end up in some strange situations. And the way to do psychic work, the way to open yourself up to do this work, is to want to help other people. Don't judge other people. You're people are just people, no matter what profession they're in, no matter what they do. There's going to be very good ones. There's going to be bad ones. I mean, there's uh, in a medical school, there's got to be somebody who came in last in the class, right? And they're going to go out there too and do whatever that license says they can do. Uh, so it's it's going to be a very energized day next Tuesday, the 8th, election day. The full moon rises at 6 a.m., right? We're going to have a day of intensity coming up with that full moon on the 8th. So brace yourself. know that nothing is forever, and that the way that democracy works is that two people, two people who know nothing whatsoever about anything can outvote one genius. It's just the way that politics are set up, and the way that the world follows politicians. That's what really makes it so bad is because it does turn into a popularity contest. One person over another, and the uh, the way to to settle the problem doesn't even seem possible. There's no way to just stop and suddenly have a different sort of government. But it would have been just as easy to create a world full of sane people, people who love each other, who take care of the elderly, who want all children to be happy and loved. But that would not have made them idolize current politicians, old politicians, what we've had. And I'm afraid that most politicians only want the adulation of being the most popular person. There's there are very few who seem to spend their time working for the people, which is what the politicians are supposed to do. The, the thing that's come up lately about a politician only having to serve those people who voted for them is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's un-American. That's completely against what the founding fathers of this nation were looking for. It's it just makes no sense, and it is always an opportunity for people to come out and vote. And when you consider that only 1 out of 5 people think it's even worth doing, 1 out of 5 people are all that the politicians have to serve, and usually only half of those. It really cuts down on what a politician is going to do while they're serving in office, and makes you wonder that the biggest thing that politicians were put in place to do was to carry a vote from some state to the national capital and vote the people's what they wanted. The people took a vote. They sent the politician up to give that vote to Washington D.C. And it's turned into lobbyist heaven. There's 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 so much there's so much that is bought and paid for, and people just accept it as the way that the way it's always been. So I guess we're, if you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. And if if a certain country's leaders would look in history books and see how the Vietnam War came out, they would understand that this current war in the Ukraine is pointless. It's not going to gain anything. It's just going to subtract. And the when 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 you don't learn from you know Hitler should have learned from um, Bonaparte right? That you can't invade Russia. There's certain things that cannot be done in the wintertime. Don't do it. Uh, there's lessons to be learned, and we're all smart enough to learn these lessons. Do we allow those lessons to be taught? That's the question now. Is what we're going to teach in schools? This could be the end of schools. The brick and mortar schools are such a dangerous place for children to be that I really believe online learning is going to take over. It's really the the best way to do it would be to have the very best teachers on film or whatever teaching every class. And they, what what they're doing now with student loans is what should have been done a long time ago. You know, universities setting their prices so high is just incredible. Any nation that charges what we charge for the best ideas and for healthcare, um, we're creating a chaotic nation because we follow the leaders that we have and we emulate them. And it's my guides are telling me it's almost over. it's it's time to bring this to a close, and I do want to thank everyone for being here. SJ and Mayu, Izzy was with us earlier, and now we have Cody. Cody saying, "Hey, Franklin," and Cody. Uh, Yeah, an ending and a beginning. Made it late. Okay, you got here at the ending exactly. So a 10, the wheel of fortune is, you know, take your time. If there's anything I could look at for you, Cody, I'd be glad to. We were talking about what's going to happen next Tuesday, the full moon coming up at 6 a.m. on Tuesday, election day, and it's going to be a chaotic time. So until next time, thank you all so much for being here. I I use this as a therapy session for myself. It's just like talking to a psychiatrist. I consider myself to be a psychic psychiatrist with no degrees on the wall. What you consider yourself to be, that's what you are. Cody says, I was going to ask, will my sister become her normal self? Ah, yes, a complete change, turnaround, hanging upside down. It's yes. The answer is yes. She will come back to her normal self. She will, and she'll uh, do it because of her brain, because she knows, because she figures this out. So that's that's a good one to end with there. That's very positive. And Cody says thank you. Thank you to all in the chat room, and to all who will see this later. I love you. Have yourself a good week, and I will see you same time, same place next week on Friday.